You have got the content. You have got the structure. But your voice is stuck in neutral. No contrast, no musicality, and people tune out. Welcome to the Voice Room Podcast, the #1 destination in Asia for mastering your voice, speaking with impact, and showing up with authority. Hello there, welcome back to the Voice Room Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Tien, voice, speech, communication, and presentation coach, and I'm so glad that you're here. Whether you are leading meetings, presenting ideas at work, or standing on a stage with a microphone, this podcast is all about helping you become a powerful, authentic communicator from the inside out. Today, we are digging into something juicy. That is, how to transform your presentations from good to great. Because, you see, most people don't give bad presentations. They give okay ones, decent ones. But what if you could shift that? What if you could take your presentations from fine to unforgettable, from clear to captivating? That is what we are diving into today, with practical and slightly unexpected ways to elevate your delivery, your presence, and your impact. So let's dive in. Let's start here with what actually separates a good presentation from a great one. Research from Stanford and the Harvard Business Review has shown that great presentations tend to do 3 things. Number 1, they connect emotionally. Number 2, they create clarity and structure. Number 3, they shift perception or behavior. Notice that great slides didn't make that list because it's not about visuals. It is about connection. So, if you have been focusing on your deck, transitions, animations, fancy fonts, I want you to pause. The real transformation begins with your voice, your mind, and your message. Here's how we will break it down today. We will talk about the invisible habits that hold back good speakers and how you can build emotional hooks that make people care. And also not forgetting the role of voice, pacing, and pause in your presentations. Are you ready to transform? Let's go. Most people I coach are smart, polished professionals, but they get stuck in presentation autopilot. What is presentation autopilot? Presentation autopilot is where presenters do what's worked, and it works okay, so they keep doing it. But here are some common habits that limit your presentation to become great. Habit number 1, the explainer trap. Well, I guess you know this one. You try to explain everything, define every term, cover every angle, but information is not equal to transformation. Great speakers don't overload, they reveal. Habit number 2, over-reliance on slides. If you're reading off your slides, even with enthusiasm, you have already lost some of the room. Your slides should support your story, not to replace it. Number 3, voice flatlining. You have got the content, you have got the structure, but your voice is stuck in neutral. No contrast, no musicality, and people tune out. Number 4, starting with, "Hi, today I'm going to talk about." If you want to sound like everyone else, Start like everyone else. Want to sound great? Hook them from the first 10 seconds. We'll talk about how in just a bit. Now, how do great speakers instantly pull people in? Fast. They create an emotional hook, something that says, this matters, and here is why. You don't need a sob story. You need relevance, contrast, curiosity. Try these 3 options to open your next talk. Number 1, the personal snapshot. Here is an example. This morning I spilled coffee on my notes, and I actually think it made this presentation better. Instantly human, disarming. People lean in because they're curious. Number 2, high stakes question. For example, what if I told you that everything we've been doing in this project was based on a wrong assumption? Now they start to listen. Number 3, the one-sentence truth. For example, people don't buy the best products. They buy the clearest ones. That's a statement that opens a door. People want to walk through it. Great speakers design their open like a movie trailer. You don't start with the credits. You start with tension. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about the voice, pacing, and the power of pause. And this is my love language. So let's get deep into it. Voice is not just a tool. It is a mirror. It reflects your confidence, your pace of thought, your connection to the message. So let's talk about 3 vocal shifts that take you from good to great. Number 1, dynamic contrast. Great speakers use light and shade. They shift between loud and soft, fast and slow, open and intimate. Sometimes a single whisper can be more powerful than a shout. Number 2, pause with purpose. Most speakers fear silence, but silence is where impact lives. It gives your audience time to feel the weight of your words. Try this. The next time you make a key point, pause for 2 full seconds. Let it land. Number 3, breathe to build. Your breath is the fuel behind your voice. Shallow breathing equals to shallow delivery. Good speakers or great speakers breathe low, grounded, and with intention. Not only it does sound better, it calms your nerves. Here is a fun fact. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Voice found that speakers who use varied intonation and appropriate pausing were rated significantly higher in both credibility and charisma than those with monotone delivery, even when the content was the same. So, yes, voice matters. It is not decoration. It is delivery. Now, if you think the above is enough, here is another upgrade. That is, to simplify. The best presentations aren't filled with 10 key takeaways. They have one clear, sharp idea that threads through everything. So ask yourself, what is one thing I want them to remember? Not today, but 3 weeks from now. Build everything around that. I call it the rule of 1. one core message, one audience focus, one tone of energy, one action at the end. It sounds simple, but it's what makes your presentation stick, because clarity equals to confidence. Want to go one more step higher? Try the 10% rule. Take 10% of your presentation and inject it with something unexpected. For example, a personal story, a surprising statistic, a visual metaphor, an audience interaction. Something that shakes the patterns, interrupts the expectations. One of my clients, let's call him Raj, opened a data-heavy presentation by tossing a crumbled piece of paper on the table and saying, This is what 80% of our customer feedback ends up looking like that. Boom! Attention! Then he launched into his findings. That moment created energy that carried through the rest of the presentation. You don't have to be theatrical. You need to be intentional. Here is something you can do today. Step 1. Record yourself giving your standard presentation introduction, about 30 to 60 seconds. Step 2. Watch it. Note where your voice drops, where you rush, where you repeat phrases. Step 3. Rewrite the same introduction, but this time start with a hook, slow your pacing, and end with a powerful one-sentence promise. Step 4. Record again. Compare. You will feel the shift immediately. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. It is about unlocking yourself to the next level. So, good speakers share information. Great speakers create transformation. And you, yes, you, have the ability to move from good to great. Not by becoming perfect, but by becoming intentional. By using your voice like an instrument. By designing your connection, not just clarity. By choosing to lead, not just explain. So here is your challenge. Choose an idea from today's episode. Just one. Try it in your next meeting, your next pitch, or your next talk, and watch what happens. And that's it for today's episode of the Voice Room podcast. If this helped you think about your presentation in a new way, share it with someone, a friend or a teammate who could use the lift. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss any episodes. And don't forget to leave a comment. I would love to know your biggest takeaway. And come hang out with us on Instagram at The Voice Room. And also connect us on LinkedIn at Carina Tien for weekly tips, behind the scenes, and voice gems to help you own every room you enter. I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Until then, stay clear, stay grounded, and keep using your voice to lead.